Hello fam, welcome back to my channel. I have another interesting story for you today, so please sit down, relax and enjoy. Afam was a man many people admired. He was tall, handsome and successful. At just 36, he already owned 3 large hotels, several real estate properties and had shares in 2 major transport companies. People always said he was a born businessman. But even with all his wealth and power, what made Afam truly happy was his wife Amaka. Amaka was beautiful, not just in looks, but in character. She was gentle, respectful, and full of joy. Afam loved her deeply. They met during their NYSC service year in Abuja and got married a year later. For the first few years of their marriage, they lived like royalty. They went on vacations, helped the less privileged, and spent time together like best friends. After 2 years of marriage, Amaka got pregnant. The whole household was excited. Afam danced the day the pregnancy was confirmed. They bought baby clothes, decorated the nursery, and waited eagerly. Amaka's pregnancy was smooth. But on the day she went into labor, things changed. It was early in the morning. Afam rushed her to one of the best private hospitals in Enugu. She smiled at him and whispered, "I'll be fine." But a few hours later, a nurse walked out of the delivery room with tears in her eyes. "Sir, your wife delivered the baby boy," she said softly. But she didn't make it. Afam's world stopped. He stood there, silent, as if his mind has refused to accept what he had just heard. The hospital walls felt like they were closing in on him. His legs became weak. The nurses rushed to support him. "Where's my son?" he finally asked, his voice shaking. They brought the baby to him. The baby was wrapped in a white blanket, tiny and calm. He looked just like Amaka, but the doctor told Afam that the baby had suffered a lack of oxygen during delivery and was blind. Amaka was gone. His baby was blind. Afam held his son and cried like a child. For the next 3 years, Afam lived in pain. He stopped going to meetings regularly and left his businesses in the hands of trusted managers. His house became quiet and many people avoided him because they didn't know what to say. He wore black clothes for months. He did not attend parties, weddings, or social events. His only joy was watching Amaka grow. The little boy couldn't see, but he could feel. He always reached for Afam's face, touching it with his soft hands. He laughed when Afam sang, and he cried when he couldn't hear his father's voice. Afam made sure Amaka had everything he needed: special toys, private tutors, and even a music teacher. But inside he was afraid. Will Amaka ever live a normal life? He often wondered. When Amaka turned 4, Afam's mother called him one evening. "My son, you have tried, but life must continue. You need a woman beside you, someone who will take care of you and help raise Amaka." Afam nodded. It wasn't easy, but he knew she was right. Over the next year, Afam met 3 different women at different times, hoping to find love again. First, it was Chidima. They met at a charity event. She was a banker, smart and elegant. They went on 3 dates. Afam liked her and decided to tell her the truth. "One thing you should know about me," he said during the dinner at the Night Lake Resort. I was married. My wife died during childbirth. I have a son and he is blind. Chidima smiled, then her face changed. Blind? She asked, looking surprised. So you want me to raise a blind child that's not even mine? Afam's heart sank. I thought you should know early. I'm sorry, she said, picking up her bag. That's a heavy load. Picking up her bag, she walked away. Afam sat there for a long time, alone. Second, it was Ifeoma. She was introduced to him by a family friend. She was lively and friendly. They talked for hours. When Afam told her about Amaka, she looked sad but calm. That's tough, she said. Afam thought she might be different. But 2 days later, she sent him a long message. You are a good man, Afam, but I am not ready to be a stepmother to a child with such needs. I want my own family, fresh. I hope you understand. Afam did not reply. He just deleted the message. The third was Unazi. They met at the airport in Lagos and exchanged numbers. She was bold and confident. When he told her about his son, she asked a strange question. So, do you have a nanny for him? Yes, Afam said. Good, she replied, because I don't want to babysit him every day. I like children, but I have my own life too. That was the last time Afam called her. Afam soon gave up on love. He poured his energy into Amaka. Every morning after lessons, Amaka and his nanny would go to a fast food joint close to their house. It was Mr. Biggs on Independence Layout. Afam wanted him to interact with people, hear new voices, and learn how to behave in public. Sometimes, Amaka sat quietly, listening to the sounds around him. Other times, he played guessing games with customers or chatted with friendly staff. People grew to love him. His soft voice, innocent questions, and joyful spirit made him special. One Tuesday afternoon, Amanda walked into the fast food joint for the first time. She had just started working at a legal consulting firm down the road. A colleague had recommended the place for lunch. As she stood in the line waiting for her food, she heard a child talking nearby. But auntie, how can chicken pie fly if it has no wings? Laughter followed. Amanda smiled and turned. A young boy was speaking to an elderly man. She watched for a while, then walked closer. Hello, she said. The boy turned towards her voice. Hi, are you new here? Yes, I just got a job around the area. My name is Amaka, he said. What's yours? Amanda. From that day, Amanda always looked for Amaka whenever she came for lunch. They played small word games, and sometimes she bought food for Amaka and his nanny. Amaka would clap excitedly when he heard her voice. Is that Auntie Amanda? Yes, she would reply with laughter. Amanda didn't know why, but she felt drawn to the boy. There was something pure about him, something that touched her heart. One Thursday morning, Amanda entered the fast food joint but didn't see Amaka. The next day, the same thing happened. She asked the security man, "Where is the little boy that comes here every morning?" "Ah, madam," the man said. "I think he's sick. Someone said he went for a surgery." Amanda became worried. "Do you know where he lives?" "No," the man said, "but we know where his father works. He owns the Royal Suites on Garden Avenue." Amanda thanked him and wrote down the address. The next day, during her lunch break, Amanda went to the Royal Suites. When she got to the front desk, the receptionist stopped her. "Sorry, madam, You need an appointment. I'm not here for business, she said. I came because of Amaka, the CEO's son. The receptionist raised an eyebrow. Hold on. She made a call, then smiled. Oga said you can come in. Afam was seated in a beautifully furnished office. He looked up as Amanda entered. She introduced herself and explained how she met Amaka, how they talked and played, and how she hadn't seen him in days. Afam listened silently, impressed. He had an eye surgery, Afam said, finally. A new specialist arrived from South Africa. We decided to try a corrective surgery. He's recovering at home. Amanda smiled with relief. Can I come and see him? Afam hesitated, then nodded. Oh yes, you can come. I believe he would love that. He wrote down his home address and thanked her for caring. A week later, Amanda arrived at the house. The gateman let her in, and the nanny brought Amaka to the living room. When Amaka heard her voice, he jumped with joy. Auntie Amanda! She hugged him tightly. I missed you. I missed you too, he said, holding her hand. They played, laughed, and talked for hours. Afam watched from a distance. He was amazed by how Amaka lit up in Amanda's presence. Amanda's visits to Amaka became regular. Every Saturday, she would come with snacks, toys, or books with braille markings. Sometimes she would sing with him. Other times, they would play guessing games. Her presence brought a fresh wave of joy into the Okeke home. Even the staff who had grown used to a quiet, reserved atmosphere began to smile more often. Afam noticed everything. He saw how Amanda knelt to hug Amaka instead of just patting his head. He watched how she wiped his mouth after meals and how she corrected him gently when he made mistakes. But what touched him the most was that she never looked at Amaka with pity, only love. One afternoon, as she got up to leave, Afam walked her to her car. Amanda, he said softly, thank you. For what? She said, smiling. For loving my son like he's yours. Amanda lowered her eyes, a bit shy. He's special, and he makes it so easy. There was a pause, a long, sweet pause. Then she drove off. Over the next few months, Amanda's bond with Amaka deepened. She learned how to read to him, how to describe things in a way that helped him imagine. She would say things like, the sky is smiling blue today, Amaka. Or, this shirt feels like fresh papaya skin. Amaka adored her. Afam too began to open up. They started sharing stories about their past, dreams, and life struggles. Amanda told him about her upbringing in Nsukka, where her mother raised her and her two siblings alone after their father died. She spoke about being denied scholarships just because of corruption and how she fought hard to become a lawyer. Afam listened and admired her strength. One evening, they were sitting on the balcony. Amaka had gone to bed early. Amanda, Afam began, I haven't felt peace like this in years. You've brought a calm I didn't know I needed. Amanda looked away. I care about you too, Afam, but I need to be honest. He nodded. I love Amaka deeply. I don't want anything to spoil that. If we start something and it doesn't work out, I don't want to lose him. Afam reached for her hand. Amanda, I'm not looking for a girlfriend. I'm looking for a partner, a wife, a mother figure for Amaka when you are ready. Amaka blinked, slowly her heart racing. I'm not here to play games. I'm ready to love again, if you will let me, he said. She stared at him for a long moment before finally whispering, Okay, let's take it slow. Their relationship blossomed like harmattan flowers in December. Slow, delicate, but full of color. Afam treated her with deep respect. No lavish show-offs, no pressure, just consistent love and honesty. Amanda remained humble. She still took keke to work sometimes when she didn't feel like driving, still bought roadside plantain and groundnuts, but Afam began to drop her off quietly, sometimes sending his driver when it rained. People began to talk. Some said Amanda was lucky. Others said she was pretending. But Amanda didn't care. She loved Afam, but even more, she loved Emeka. And that was all that mattered. One Saturday evening, they sat with Emeka in the garden, playing Who Can Guess the Sound. Suddenly, Emeka said something unexpected. Daddy! Yes, my son. Are you going to marry Auntie Amanda? Amanda laughed nervously. Afam smiled. Why did you ask? Because you talked to her the way you used to talk to mommy in that video. Amanda looked at him. He seen the video? Yes, Afam said, many times. Emeka turned to Amanda and touched her face gently. I want you to be my new mom. Tears rolled down Amanda's cheek. Afam held both their hands. Then let's make it official, he said. 3 months later, they had a small traditional wedding in Amanda's hometown in Nsukka. Afam came with his people, his friends, business associates, and family members. It was a colorful affair with music, dancing, and prayers. Amaka wore a deep red George wrapper with coral beads, while Afam wore a richly embroidered Isiagu. Emeka walked down the aisle with Amanda during the reception. Though he couldn't see clearly, he smiled all through, holding her hand tightly. Afam felt something in his chest. A heart full of joy. For the first time in years, he believed that things change in seconds. Married life was sweet. Amanda moved into the mansion in Enugu. She brought life into the house, placing fresh flowers on the dining table, making chin-chin with Emeka, and getting new curtains that let in more light. Even the staff said the house breathed better. Emeka started calling her Mommy Amanda on his own. She never forced him. Amanda continued with her job, but she reduced her hours so she could spend more time at home with Emeka. Afam supported her in everything. Soon, something miraculous began to happen. Emeka's eyes started responding to light. It started slowly. One evening, Amanda walked into his room and forgot to switch off the hallway light. Emeka turned towards the door. Mommy, did you leave the light on? Amanda froze. Yes, Emeka. Can you see the light? A little. It's like when you close your eyes and still see orange color. Amanda rushed to Afam. From that moment, hope grew stronger. They visited the specialist again. Tests were conducted. The doctor smiled. The surgery was successful, but recovery is gradual. With time, his sight will return fully. Afam and Amanda held hands and thanked God. One morning, Emeka came to Amanda and placed his small hands on her cheeks. Mommy Amanda, he said, I can see your eyes now. They are brown. She gasped. Afam walked in and Emeka turned. Daddy, your shirt is blue. Amanda burst into tears. Afam hugged his son tightly. Oh my boy, you are seeing us. They called the doctor who confirmed the full restoration of Emeka's sight. Years passed. Amanda gave birth to 2 children, a girl named Nneka and a boy named Obinna. The house was full of life again. Toys on the floor, cartoons on the TV, and children's laughter ringing through the walls. Emeka became a proud elder brother. He helped Nneka with homework, carried Obinna when he cried, and read bedtime stories using the same calm tone Amanda used with him. He became stronger and more confident. He joined the school for gifted children and even started writing short poems about light and love. Afam often sat back and watched his family. He would say to himself, "Thank you, Amaka, for watching over us." Amanda never tried to replace Amaka. She honored her memory and always reminded Emeka of his mother who gave him life. They visited Amaka's grave every year on her birthday, and Amanda would place flowers and say, "Thank you for Emeka. I'll take care of him always." One quiet evening, Afam sat with Amanda on the same balcony where they had their first deep conversation. "Do you remember what you said to me the first time you came here?" Afam asked. Amanda smiled. "I said I missed Emeka." "No," Afam said, taking her hand. "You answered my silent prayer. I was a broken man. You didn't just love my son. You brought light into our darkness." Amanda leaned on his shoulder. They watched the children play in the compound. And in that moment, Afam knew life had come full circle. They didn't just survive. They built something new, something beautiful, and something stronger. Thank you, my dear viewers, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Kindly let me know in the comment section what part of the story you enjoyed the most. Kindly comment, share, and like. Until I come your way again next time. Bye.